this was how the principle of merging congregations was sold to witnesses in July 2017. And it was very clever the way they did it. They said, well, what we're doing is mimicking what Jesus did, because Jesus didn't believe in wasting anything. And even if a congregation may have, say, 200 publishers, what matters is what the average meeting attendance is. So if they're only getting 120 to their meetings, this means that there are spaces available. This means that we can merge congregations to make better use of seats. And of course, using this principle, a congregation that had been forced to accept the new stealth tithing arrangement in 2014 could then be told, well, guess what? We want to maximize use of available Kingdom Hall seating in your area, and that involves sending you to a different Kingdom Hall and leave your existing Kingdom Hall to us. We'll sell it and the proceeds will go towards the worldwide work. You just need to show obedience to the direction that you've been given and maybe sacrifice a little bit by driving further, but this is all for the greater good. And of course, witnesses, how are witnesses to know that they're being exploited? And actually, when I made those comments for the July 2017 broadcast, I could see exactly what they were doing. I just didn't know for sure that this was how that they were making money, or I didn't know the scale on which they were doing this until recently, when a service department meeting that was convened in December 2017, so just a few months ago, until a video of that meeting was leaked to JW Survey. And I need to credit an anonymous ex-JW called Fader. I think he's actually still in the organization, but he has access to materials. He passed on the following video to me, and it's actually quite chilling, because what we're about to see is the end game. We've seen the build-up, we've seen how all of the pieces have been maneuvered into position, but in the following clip from the December 2017 Service Department meeting, we're going to see exactly how this master plan of Watchtowers worked out.
Well, it's so encouraging to see what Jehovah's organization is doing for our brothers who have experienced disasters. But that, as well as this report, is just a reflection of the hard work that all of you are doing in behalf of Kingdom Interest. And this meeting, of course, is informative in other ways, but it's also an opportunity for us to express appreciation to all of you for what you have contributed to the good things that are happening in Jehovah's organization. Well, what are some of the specific things that are going on? Master planning. Maybe many of you have heard, beginning April 2016, a plan was initiated to better utilize Kingdom Halls, especially in metropolitan areas. And you might remember one of the broadcasts a little while ago, Brother Lucioni mentioned that we needed about 1,200 new Kingdom Halls. Well, after a master plan was established, it was found out we don't need that many new Kingdom Halls. What we need to do is better utilize the Kingdom Halls that we have. And so it's estimated that we may need 200 or less Kingdom Halls because of this beautiful master plan, non-construction solutions. So as a result, the number of Kingdom Halls needed has been reduced significantly.
So what we're now eavesdropping on is the service department talking about this beautiful master plan that was introduced in April 2016 to replace the master plan that witnesses were told about in 2015. And let's remind ourselves of how many new Kingdom Halls they were promised.
To meet the needs of the United States branch territory over the next 5 years, at least 1,300 new kingdom halls will be constructed and another 1,600 more will be renovated.
So in the 2015 master plan, Jehovah's Witnesses were promised at least 1,300 new kingdom halls. Now, in the December 2017 service department meeting, Brother Griffin, which is the name of the gentleman who's now speaking, he actually misquotes the number as 1,200 new kingdom halls. But he says, guess what? It turns out we don't need to build those new kingdom halls that witnesses have been promised. We only need to build 200 because of this beautiful new master plan to replace the old master plan, whereby we will be merging congregations.
So in regard to this master plan, meetings are held throughout the United States to explain this master plan, this Kingdom Hall utilization plan, to merge and to relocate congregations, merge and relocate. And when you hold these meetings with these groups of elders, it's amazing to see the tremendous response from these spiritual men. After the meeting is presented, they wholeheartedly agree with what has been established because they're spiritual men, they're loyal, and they want what is best for Jehovah and his organization. So it's really impressive to see that.
I just found this part fascinating because it really demonstrates how authoritarian this organization is. They are here talking about meeting with elders to force through these changes and to basically tell elders what's going to happen, and say, well, listen, this money that you're now entrusting to us, guess what? We've decided that we're not going to either build a new kingdom hall for you or renovate your existing kingdom hall. We're sending you to a new kingdom hall, and it's your job to tell your congregations what we've decided. And as a matter of loyalty, the elders are required to raise their hands. And I just find this photograph fascinating for two reasons. Firstly, someone will have had to have taken this photograph. So they will have had this meeting, and presumably either a circuit overseer or a Bethel representative will have literally stood there with the camera to document the elders raising their hands. I find that, I mean, there's an element of insecurity there, or an element, you could say, of intimidation. It's like, I'm going to document you agreeing to this. And also, when you look at the photograph, it's almost like a photograph with two halves, because on the right hand side they've immediately got their hands up and they're looking relatively enthusiastic, and then on the left hand side they're not quite as quick to put their hands up, and they don't look, at least the faces towards the front don't look all that enthusiastic. But this is the photograph that Watchtower internally is circulating, at least amongst its service department, to show, oh, well, look at how loyal the elders are being in embracing our new master plan, in which we are evicting some congregations from the buildings they have paid for and forcing them to travel further to a new congregation that we have merged them with. But maybe you'll have noticed that the theme of my video is unrighteous riches, how Watchtower is making millions by merging Jehovah's Witness congregations. And that's really the final piece of the jigsaw. How can we say that Watchtower is making millions by doing this? Well, watch the next clip.
Now, when this report was initially prepared, we had about 30 of these utilization plans that were initiated. Now, this past weekend in Rochester, we had the privilege of presenting the plan to the elders there. That was plan number 32. But as the at the time of the preparation of this report, you can see the benefits. I don't know if you can see the total figures, but before this plan, we had over 100 or about 195 overcrowded auditoriums. Overcrowded auditoriums are auditoriums with more than 4 congregations. But after merging and relocating congregations, better utilizing congregations, with the 30 studies that are represented in this report, we're down to now only 32 overcrowded auditoriums. So you see the benefit of initiating this master plan. And that represents over $100 million in savings because of this master plan. So Jehovah's really blessing that.
Yes, Jehovah's really blessing this new master plan by freeing up $108.4 million in savings for just the first 30 plans. And we heard there Brother Griffin say that actually at the time of this video they were up to plan number 32, but as of the first 30 plans they had made over $100 million in savings. And at this point in the video, I guess I should be absolutely clear and say, for the sake of completeness, that we don't know exactly what they mean by savings. But I think when we put all of the other pieces of the jigsaw together, including the information I've already shown you, it's clear that this new master plan, which they say was implemented in April 2016, is entirely different from what was presented as early as 2014 to witnesses, when they were told, listen, don't worry, we'll take on all of the responsibility for your kingdom hall, for keeping it maintained, for renovating it if needed, for rebuilding it if needed. That trust has been completely and utterly betrayed. And now witnesses are being required, witnesses who have had their kingdom halls taken from them are being required to travel further and work harder for a religion that's telling them you need to do what we're telling you to do or you'll be destroyed at Armageddon.
And besides the savings of the dedicated funds, it's really unifying the brothers and sisters when they take part in this. You can see from these pictures here that the brothers are welcome when they attend their new congregations. One elder said, it's the best thing that has happened to us in a long time. Everyone is talking about the increased support for field service and having a larger elder body. One 85-year-old sister expressed herself. She says how wise this decision was to merge in her Kingdom Hall complex. They received 18 publishers from a congregation that was merged. In her words, she says, the congregation received a breath of fresh air. She was happy to see the Kingdom Hall now full again. So it's so nice to see how Jehovah is blessing this master plan. There are about 45 more of these plans that and meetings that need to be held with bodies of elders in the future. And its purpose is to strengthen and stabilize the congregations, better utilize auditoriums, and save dedicated funds. So it's nice to see how Jehovah's blessing that work.
Of course, they're never going to show messages from witnesses who are understandably mortified and disgusted at having their trust betrayed, at being asked to give their contributions to Watchtower under the assumption that they'll be guaranteed a place of worship in their community, and who are then being turfed out of that place of worship and made to travel further. They're never going to show that side of the issue. They're only going to show messages from witnesses who are saying, well, what a wonderful provision from Jehovah. But how interesting that he also said that there's an additional 45 plans or thereabouts. We were shown that from the first 30 plans, they made $100 million or $108 million. Who knows what the next 45 plans will yield for Watchtower. And bear in mind that we're now in June of 2018, so probably many of those plans are already either implemented or in the course of being implemented. But make no mistake, this, as far as I'm concerned at least, is a smash and grab. It's taking money, it's freeing up property, it's liquidating assets that Watchtower can lay claim to theologically as the hierarchy, as the overarching denomination, as I referred to at the beginning of the video. They're taking advantage of that to ease their financial woes. And if you don't know what financial woes I'm referring to, watch the Watchtower in Focus video that I recently did on dedicated funds, in which me and the team go over some other leaked material that indicates just how bad things are for Watchtower at the moment. But make no mistake, this isn't about making things easier for witnesses themselves, because according to this model, a witness will have to travel further, on average at least, to the new Kingdom Hall for their new merged congregation. What's interesting is that Brother Griffin will then go on to talk about conventions, and what he has to say about the convenience for witnesses due to this new convention arrangement completely contradicts the whole premise of the congregation merging model that we've already seen.
Now, with regard to conventions, the service department has been actively following through on direction received around March of 2010. Encouragement was given to find additional locations for conventions to make it more convenient for the brothers to attend. And so you can see from this, in 2010, we had about 91 locations. In 2017, we're looking at 140 different locations for assemblies. And what does that do? Well, it saves the brothers funds. Instead of having to travel further to some of these areas, they're able to travel to venues that are closer to them, which allows them not to have to stay in a hotel. They can stay in their own homes, and it saves them money. So Jehovah's organization is doing much to help and assist the friends, even in a spiritual way, especially in a spiritual way.
Literally in the same presentation, Brother Griffin is praising this new convention arrangement because due to there being more convention locations, witnesses won't have to travel as far to get to their conventions. Bear in mind that conventions are once per year for witnesses, and he's completely overlooking and ignoring the fact that by merging congregations, witnesses will have to travel further. And if you're an ordinary witness, what are you going to prefer? Are you going to prefer having to travel a long way to go to a convention that's held once per year? Or are you going to want to travel further twice a week to your congregation meetings? I can't understand how Brother Griffin can't see the double standard there. But anyway, I hope I've adequately explained what Watchtower is doing. Once you put all of the pieces of the jigsaw together, I think what we're seeing is extremely underhanded, and especially the way witnesses are being kept in the dark. They were kept in the dark from the very beginning, from the letters in 2014, in which for the March 29th letter, they were even told this postscript should not be read to the congregation and this letter should not be posted on the information board. Witnesses have been kept in the dark as to what Watchtower is really doing with the money, either that they're donating or that has been accrued in the form of this building that generations have maintained and cared for, and that's then being sold off by Watchtower, with the congregation having been turfed out. It really is duplicitous. And when you also add in the elements of coercion and constant material coming from Watchtower telling witnesses to support the arrangement, to have trust in what the governing body are doing, to continue to donate their valuable things, it just is so distasteful. And As of this convention season, I'm obviously in the process of doing my own rebuttals to some of the video propaganda that witnesses are being shown. One of the videos, I've already talked about it, one of the videos that's being shown in this convention season at the Be Courageous Convention of Jehovah's Witnesses actually depicts a congregation in the process of being merged. It paints a picture, a rather misogynistic picture in my view, of this meddlesome sister who isn't following the direction that's being given for this congregation that's being merged with another congregation, and is even encouraging another sister to resist against the new congregation that this sister has been assigned to.
Did you see? They have us going to the South congregation, and everybody else from our group is going to North.
Yeah, I saw that. My aunt and cousins will be going there too.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. They should keep you together. Hi, Sister Taylor.
Oh, hello, girls.
I saw your name on the list for the South congregation, but your grandkids and their families, they're going to North. So what are you going to do?
What do you mean?
Well, are you going to North or are you going to South?
Now, sweetie, didn't you say you saw my name listed under the South congregation?
Yeah, but...
So, I'll be going to the South congregation.
So witnesses, even at this convention, are kind of being conditioned into this whole concept of merging congregations so that they won't kick back, so that they won't ask questions. They'll just go along with it and assume that Watchtower has their needs at heart, when in actual fact, it's all about Watchtower's bottom line. It's all about how much money, how many millions of dollars Watchtower can save through this new beautiful master plan that they've dreamt up. So quite chilling once you put all the pieces together. But I felt this was really important information to share with you. By all means, let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget, as always, if you've enjoyed this video, that you can subscribe for more videos. And as always, thank you for watching.
So that all come out of, or they might say that those religious organisations have accumulated too much wealth and property. Oh my God, is the Watchtower talking about itself there, viewers, or what? Oh my goodness, it seems reasonable that this attack will not mean that all the members of those religions will be destroyed. Oh, that's sad for them, isn't it? Rather, it seems that the nations will get rid of the religious organisations themselves. Well, that's what happened in Russia, isn't it, with the Jehovah Witnesses? But we'll look at that in the next instalment of the Theological Audit on Watchtower Article 41 from Watchtower Study Publications of the JW.org. This is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, Theologist. Bye for now. Yeah, Dr. Jason Morrison, Theologist again. I just want to say thank you for watching the videos, and I hope you got plenty of self-rediscovery and freedom out of it. If you watched it on YouTube, please share or like, maybe even comment. If you watched it on Facebook, like, comment, share. But most of all, get out and live. This isn't a rehearsal. You've got a one-off life. Don't let your loyalty and your faithfulness blind you to the life that you should be experiencing. Till the next video, thank you for watching, and bye for now.